Hi guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to do a video on this makeup look just because when I posted my video about like my tried and true like fashion pieces, the amount of requests that I had to share with you this makeup look was insane. So that's what I figured I would do next just because it was so highly requested. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. It's mostly drugstore. My whole face is mostly drugstore and I think that you're gonna love it. You guys know I film these videos right in my window with no filters, no nothing, so that you can get a really good idea of what the makeup looks like on my skin. You can get a really good look at what the colors look like. So that is it. I hope that you love it. Let me know down below what you want to see next and I will see you in the next one. So let's roll into the tutorial. Let's get my hair out of the way. I am primarily going to look in there only because that's where my mirror is. I haven't figured out how to put a mirror like in my viewfinder. I don't know how to do that. So if you see me, oh sorry. This mic's gonna be a bit of pain. If you see me staring there, that is why. And if I have to bring something really close to me, that is why. First things first, we're gonna start with some Pond's and I'm gonna add a little bit of Marula oil to it because my skin is just Yahtzee. It is dry, dry, dry. It's very, very cold. Making sure everything is good. Okay, it's just so hard to do when I can't tell what you're seeing. And you guys know if you follow me on Instagram that you know my videos are not filtered in any way. I will film all of my makeup, skincare, hair videos in this spot because it is literally inside my windowsill and it's one of the places in my house where I have the most. I'm gonna use my little compact so that I can see. Every item will obviously be linked down below for you because I'm really not the best at remembering the description of every single thing. And sometimes the names that they give products are like so long, it's ridiculous. So I'm gonna go in with this eyebrow pencil. Hopefully you can see. Like that, and then I take the spoolie side and I just brush that center up. Do eyes first, but I like to let my under eye corrector just sit, and I've been prepping my under eyes with a Tula balm, which I'll link down below. I've really been loving it. It's been my last step in my skincare routine every morning. And I really have been enjoying it so much. It feels good, feels cooling. And I feel like it makes everything under my eyes go on better. So while that sits, we're gonna move on to eyes. Eyes are very simple. They're very, very easy. I'm gonna use this palette, which is, as you'll see, a very loved palette. And I'm gonna use this as my base, which for me is really the game changer. I'm gonna take the color on my ring finger, like that, and just pop it all over, and this just gives me a really great light base that cancels out any redness or any discoloration on my eyelids, but it's not like pure white. Before I go any further, I'm going to set my brows with my brow gel. I really like this one. It's not crunchy. Okay, to do the eyes, here's what I do. I take that color right there. It might be hard for you to see. I take that light color right there on just like a super fluffy brush. And I basically just set that eyeshadow, like that cream shadow. I then will switch to a blending brush. You can see mine is loved. And I'm gonna go in with that color right there, that mid-tone brown. Tap off the excess, and this is just gonna go in the crease. And a good tip if you have hooded eyes is to not completely like close your lids, or yeah, you kind of want your eyes to be a little bit open when you apply it so that you can actually see where that shadow is gonna sit once you have your eyes open. So it probably is gonna be higher than you're used to, but that's because if you are doing it this way, it's gonna go right in here, and when you open it, it's gone, right? So you're gonna go a little bit more on that brow, on that like socket bone. Now let's talk wing. I like to do a combination of a pencil and some shadow, but you can also do one or the other. The key for me is to not apply too thick of a wing, but not too thin of a wing. I know that sounds really confusing, but the goal is to get a really elongated eye and not something that makes your eyes look like they're closed in even more. So what I do is I'm trying to get it as close as I can. I take a sharpened pencil. This is one of my favorites just because it's just wildly creamy. Make sure it's sharp, and I always start with the outer corner. You start with your outer corner and you just draw a very light little wing like that, and then just draw very gently, bring that in. And I only go in about 2/3 of the eye with my pencil, and then this gives me the richness I want, but it also just gives me an outline. Now I know it looks crazy, we're not done yet, and you're gonna follow that up with a very, very, very small liner pencil. This is, I love this. I have a whole set of these brushes. They come with face brushes too, but this eyeliner brush is incredible. And I go in with this dark color, you dip it in there, okay? And now essentially you're gonna follow what you mapped out, okay? I'm gonna need 2 hands for this. This is so hard to do. Hold on. Okay, hopefully you see me. You're gonna go in and you're gonna, because the eyeliner is so creamy, it smudges out really nicely. And you can go in as many times as you have to, working a little bit at a time to perfect it. And you can also add more by just taking your eyeliner pencil and pushing down on it like that. And then cleaning up that. Just like that. You see it? It's sort of smoked out a little bit. It's not too thick. When you open your eyes, it doesn't take up your entire eyelid. It's perfect. I'm gonna go do this side and then we'll do the face. I always do mascara at the very end, but I always feel like that pulls the whole thing together, but we're not done yet because we are gonna move on to face. You guys know I'm not a really big primer person, only because once my skincare is on and it's locked in and then I put on my moisturizer, I don't need a primer. So what I've been using is this. I love this foundation. It is beautiful. It's perfect if you have dry skin. It's a tint, which means it's not super full coverage, but I think it's plenty of coverage. I have shades 220 and I also have the shade 110, which is wildly light for me, but I always like to take one foundation that I love and I buy it in like the fairest color it comes in, and then I can add it to other foundations to match like my current shade. So that's why I do mostly 220 and then a little bit of that 110 just to match me a little bit better, because 220 is a little bit dark. Pat that all into the skin. I don't know if you can see, but it has decent coverage, but it still allows your skin to show through. It still allows your skin to show through, which I really love. And it's just so gorgeous in person as well. It photographs well. It's just all around really lovely. And I like to always go with a little, and then you can always blend and you can always add more. But I don't like to go in with too much, because then it's very hard to take it off or to blend it. Foundation is blended. You can still see my skin under, but it's just beautiful, beautiful. The one drugstore item I don't have, and I haven't found a good one yet, but I'll look for us, is a cream contour. And I love to do a cream contour because it means that I can go lighter on the powder bronzer on top, which I prefer because I like light layers of powder because I have such dry skin. And if I go ahead and add a ton of powder bronzer, it's just gonna highlight all of my dry patches. And let me tell you, nobody wants that. I'm gonna go in with an angled brush and I'm just gonna pat that into the skin. Never rub, always pat, because when you pat, you blend it into the skin and you make it one with your foundation rather than lifting that foundation and then just get like pills all over your face. Like that. That is gorgeous. We're gonna go in with concealer. I love this combo. What I've learned is that you really don't want to go really light under like all of your eyes, especially where you have some hollowness, because it's just gonna accentuate that if you hit just the wrong shadow somehow. So I just do one that's a little bit closer to my foundation shade, and then I go in with a lighter one just for that little bit of brightness and dimension. One little dab right there, there, and there, and then I will spread this around the center of my face, and it makes such a difference. I'm gonna grab my favorite concealer brush. Okay, this is one of my favorites. I also love the Hourglass concealer brush. It's so good. It's a great one. You see the angle of it? It's fantastic for getting right into that corner. And what you want to do is you just want to press it in and just blend it out. Press it in and blend it out, and then I go in with a bigger angled brush to really set it, if you will. Then I just keep going with that brush down the center of my nose with whatever's left over. I will clean up that. When it comes to setting your under eye or your face in general, you want to go with as little powder as possible. If you have dry skin especially, powder is not really our friend. So I take a little bit of powder and I'm just using this one in the shade Fair. You can see the powder on the brush. I don't want to apply that under my eyes because if I can see it on the brush, I'll see it under my eyes. So what I do is I take the lid and I really work it into that brush. You can see it's a lot less than it was, and that's all I want to use under my eyes, and just pat that in. Same thing on the other side. I take the same approach to my face powder. Today I'm using this one. It's not a drugstore one, but I'll link for you this drugstore as well, only because this matches my skin perfectly right now because I'm so fair. And same approach. If I see it on the brush, I don't want to apply it directly to my face. So just work it into the lid and then just really pat it. And you can still see my skin through. You can still see it's not built up with a ton of powder, which is always key for me. Again, when you are hitting your late 30s and beyond and you have very dry skin, you really want to make sure that you're not adding too much powder. Because I added that cream contour, I don't need to add like a ton of bronzer. So I'm going to use this one, which I have just been loving. I also use this as an eyeshadow with this double-ended brush. I love this brush set. I go in with the angled, and this is very, very light. It's not very powdery, which I love. And just press it into the skin. Just gives a little bit of dimension and some liveliness. I don't think there's a person in the entire world that is a fan of makeup that does not agree that these drugstore blushes are probably, well, they're definitely the best blushes in the drugstore, but I would go as far to say is that they're top 3 best blushes of all times. They're just phenomenal. I have every single shade that there ever was. They never let me down, and I just use the opposite side. They're very pigmented, so go gentle, but they are just sublime. Before I do my mascara, I'm gonna lock it all in place with this spray and then fan it all in. I don't like to do my eyes because if I get wet on my eyes, then they crease. If you want to clean up your contour, like, you know, this area a little bit, you can just take one of these puffs and dip it into that light powder that we used to set our under eyes. Really work it in there. Again, we're not baking. We're just gonna, you can just clean it up like that. We're not baking because baking is just not my friend at this stage in my life. And then if you have messed anything up, you can always just go in with a little brush and clean it. But that to me is perfection. Let's do mascara and lips. This is the best eyelash curler in all the land. And the trick to getting your lashes to look really full and lifted just the right way is that you really put it close to the bottom of the base and then look up and then just do small little squeezes like that. What a difference. I have never been one to go in with a mascara primer ever until I bought this thinking it was a mascara, and I was loving my lashes until someone pointed out to me, oh hey, by the way, that's a mascara primer. You're supposed to layer a mascara on top of that. And I was like, okay then, shows how much I know. So you just take some of this, and this is tinted black. The only primers I've ever had were always white. That's why I didn't think it was a mascara. But what I do is, the trick is to do one eye at a time, and this just gives you like really pretty feathery lashes. And when you couple it with another mascara that has a matching mascara to go with it, I don't have that one, so I'm just using this one. They're so pretty, and they stay like lifted like this all day. Just really a fan. I'm gonna do the other eye. For lips, I'm just gonna recreate the same lip that I had in that video. It's one of my favorite nude combos, and it's just sublime. This is Anastasia Cool Brown. The names are so small. The names are so small. I always start at the edge and work my way in. It looks crazy, I know. Fill in the corners. I just kind of feather it all in together. And then we're gonna go in with this nude. This is Anastasia in Butterscotch. Sometimes I feel like I don't want such a shiny lipstick. So when that happens, if that happens, you take a little bit of powder. This is just the one I use from under eyes, and I just blend that out. And then I go like this. And look what happens. It takes away that really shiny finish, and it's so good. So that is it. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that this was good. I'm so sorry that I had to constantly look over there. I'm gonna see if I can get like some kind of monitor to go right behind my lens, and maybe that will help me, but I'm doing my best, and I'll do my best for you. I was gonna show you my outfit of the day today, but let me just tell you, this is what I'm wearing today. We've got sweatpants, slippers. This is an old shirt from Gap from 2012, okay? I cannot believe I still have this. This is from 2012. I have a couple of them, and I love them. They're so comfortable. So that is everything. Let me know if you enjoyed it. All of the products will be linked down below for you. Let me know what you want to see next, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.